Okay.
Radical.
There we go. It took a second, but I think we're here. All right.
Yeah. All right.
So, cancel culture. That's
So
a
you
thing.
wanted to hop on here to discuss a few topics. I'm not sure if this is going to be just like a debate stream, like Vosh style, or if this is going to be like an AMA on the side. Honestly, I'm game for anything. So
I mean, if somebody wants to ask, they can feel free to do so. We're not hiding anything. But
so can't.
this was the first thing that popped up on controversial topics, so I figured this is probably the best place to start.
This really brings me back to my roots. Well, our roots as college graduates, because I feel like this was just sort of the see lazy option when it came to finding topics for debate class.
Procon.org?
Procon.org. When we didn't feel like putting 15 minutes of research into our topic and we just wanted a general bias opinion. Now, when we were in our political science courses, we were given a side, so that just made our jobs a hell of a lot easier. So it was really easy to just look up a topic, look up the side we needed, and then just go down the rabbit hole from there. So let's do this.
Cancel culture. I've never heard it as call-out culture. I've never
heard it
before.
either. But
The removal, canceling of support of individuals due to an opinion. Well, we know who recently was hit by this on The Mandalorian.
oh, Jesus.
And I actually really felt bad for her because she's actually a genuinely decent person. And
I did hear though that she got a fairly decent deal from the Daily Wire and then like Onward from other conservative outlets though.
yeah,
And
but
like and like
it's not gonna be the
regardless,
same amount of pay as working on a Star Wars show.
well, I was gonna say regardless of whether or not it's like it aligns with her bias, like if she's conservative or not, which I believe she is. So I think it, all more power
If she
to her.
wasn't before, after this, she definitely would be.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well, that whole incident caused a giant political issue in the Star Wars community. And there's now this big issue of like politics in Star Wars. And
Right.
and that wave of cancel culture on her has now turned around, and it's now a wave of canceling on anything they put out, even on YouTube. If you've been to the Star Wars YouTube channel,
Uh-huh.
now my typing is all gonna be funny. Okay, look at this. Their latest video is this like a report. Ooh. look at the ratio, man.
Oh,
you see this?
Man. Oh, dude. Oh, you fueled the fire, didn't you?
I
see
to.
that dislike.
I had to.
Okay,
And
so I have not
at the
seen
quotes.
this yet.
Look what everyone's putting down here. I'm not the only one that's ever been bullied by this company.
Oh, man. They're really dragging them through the mud here.
I mean,
Disney,
they had
I
it
mean.
coming.
They really did have it coming.
I mean, like,
So-
this is. Look, you can't. Once you start this shit, okay? Like, once you begin the cancel wave, you can't control what direction it goes. So this is what they get. It only
goes
rebounding.
It only goes down, because I fail to understand sort of the whole reasoning behind cancel culture, other than it gives you just a subatomic feeling of like instant gratification, and that's instant gratification for the sole, like, dare I say, perpetrator of this cancel culture, like, decision to cancel someone, right? it doesn't impact anyone
week,
positively around them.
No.
It's just them that gets a rush out of it. So, really,
I mean,
I've never understood it.
Look at this one, 24K dislikes. This was about a week ago.
Now, this is a totally unrelated video from Gina.
This has nothing to do with her.
Okay, this has nothing to do with her, but people are just spamming...
On their Twitter, on their Instagram, and on their YouTube channel.
Oh, that's rough.
On Instagram, there was a video they uploaded. That was the one that introduced that new character that's like a rock.
Uh-huh.
And they took the video down because it was just flamed. It was flamed that much. So this is,
That's
I mean,
ridiculous.
this is the result. And you know what? In this case, they had it coming. They did. Like,
I would love to see the argument for cancel culture on procon.org.
the argument is,
Call-out culture allows marginalized people to seek accountability where the justice system fails. Through media? That seems reaching. Like, I'm sorry, but if it's a matter of, like, it doesn't sit well with you, like, through, like, media representation where everyone gets fucked over by some degree or another, I never understood trying to fight battles through the media.
call-out culture gives a voice to disenfranchised or less powerful people. So the colorful-haired mob on Twitter... I mean, that's really the voice that's being given. It's not like a person living down the street on your neighborhood that's like oppressed or something. These people have access to social media. They have enough time to spend all day on it and reply to people hoping that they lose their livelihood. That's not a disenfranchised group, man.
The critics of cancel culture are plainly threatened not by a new and uniquely powerful kind of public criticism, but by a new set of critics, young progressives, including many minorities and women who, largely through social media, have obtained a seat at the table where matters of justice and etiquette are debated and are banging it loudly to make up for lost time. I mean, if shouting into the ether that is the internet is your idea of fixing a community when really it's just online grandstanding, sure.
Look at this.
I never understood that.
It says one of the co-founders of BLM said people don't understand that social activist organizing isn't going online and cussing people out.
So the avant-garde here of BLM is basically saying that cancel culture doesn't work.
Yeah, but that's what they did anyways.
Right. So well, pick your poison, pretty much.
You know what's funny about this, though? Is that the company, the one that's being flamed, Disney, they're pretty guilty of their own stuff. And no one seems to be called... Well, did you see what happened with the Force Awakens poster?
I did not, no.
This is funny.
I've heard about sort of the controversy surrounding it. What was it about, like making it a character bigger or something?
Look at Finn. This is the Chinese poster, so they didn't want a person of color as like larger in China because I guess that would offend the audience in some way. And it's just like they completely moved him.
Well, they didn't just move him; they made him like pretty much front and center.
This is the regular one here. This is a normal one. This is the Chinese one. Because in China, he shouldn't be like focused on, I guess. But this just all has to do with the fact that they're kind of owned by China in one way or another.
Right. Oh my god.
Oh, and they completely removed Chewbacca for some reason.
Well, he's brown. Of course they did.
And this is
no,
what
I'm kidding.
really cracked me up. Disney
Gina
CEO
Carano,
said,
Mandalorian firing, Lucasfilm chief's future at shareholder.
somewhere here he's like, I don't really see Disney characterizing itself as right-leaning or left-leaning. Disney was interested in standing for values that are universal, such as decency and integrity.
Yeah, okay. Why don't we dial the clock back a bit and we see the old 1930s and 40s Donald Duck cartoons where he's just Zeke Heiling every second. Yeah, that appeals to the values.
Well,
All right, look.
That's something that you laugh at, right? But
No, it's something that you laugh at, and I know where the conversation's going of, oh, well, it's a different time, yada, 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 and those cartoons can still be accessible. I don't think Disney has, what is it, kind of shifted it under the rug, or what is it called? Suppressed, like search suppressed online. Obviously, you can't find it on Disney Plus, but you know that it still exists. And as far as my knowledge goes, they haven't exactly came out with a statement or something, denouncing it.
well, they don't have to because
They don't have to because next to Viacom, they're a giant.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is the difference between me and the lunatic crowd. I don't really care if they denounce it or not. I really don't.
Right.
Even if they did, what would that do?
Well, exactly.
What would that do?
It's one of those things where it's like it's fresh fodder to dig up just so you can prove some blue checkmarked opinion on Twitter.
Well, no, but it's easy to fire somebody by pressuring the company these days. And that's the scary part.
But that's the thing about Disney is that you can say whatever you want as well. They'll easily pay you off. I mean, it's Disney. You should have you heard the stories about when the on the Little Mermaid ride when the Ursula animatronic when the head fell off?
No.
And basically everyone. Okay, yeah. So you know the Little Mermaid ride, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a scene where you go under the water and you go in Ursula's little cave and Ursula is singing to you and everything like that. And during that time you see Ursula singing to you. And one day the head just fell off. And the robot head just fell off and a bunch of kids saw it. And after the ride, Disney ended up giving them now it's rumored that Disney ended up giving the patrons who saw it black passes, which is basically unlimited Disney park access for a lifetime.
No way.
Yeah. Again, this isn't something that you can just buy or have it like bootlegged or whatever, but Disney has a way of paying you off.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
Look at this. So the reason why they fired her was because of that thing that she tweeted comparing pre-Nazi Germany, like the behavior of people and the government toward like Jews, and she compared that to how people on the right are being treated right now by the media, and basically said like the first thing they did was they made your neighbors hate you. And
historically accurate, yeah.
That was anti-Semitic apparently, and deemed like as a statement that is worth being fired over.
Historically speaking, though, it's like Jesus.
But here's the thing.
They are really reaching here.
The main star of the show did the same thing in the opposite direction, and no one gave a damn.
What, he made fun of people on the left?
He compared children in cages to Nazi Germany, like concentration camps, and that was left alone. So he was allowed to make that comparison because his opinion was okay, but her opinion was evil, and since you can't have an evil opinion if the world of the left
so not
deems you
only
evil,
so not only so not only is Disney they made a racist decision, but they also made a sexist decision.
Well, yeah, so they got rid of the strong female character role.
Yeah,
but
it's sort of...
Kathleen Kennedy is the one that's like, we love strong, independent women in our films and shows.
Well, not this one, apparently.
No, she was too independent. That's the problem.
She was too independent.
I mean, that's what this comes down to. Is it was a crowd of people. They don't even watch the show. They really don't. They don't watch the show. They don't care about the plot of the show. They saw somebody post an article saying about what she was talking about, and boom, they attacked her. And that's all it takes.
To tell you the truth, I disagree with you on that front of it's like these people don't watch the show. I feel like these types of journalists are people who never lost touch with their childhood side.
No, not the journalists. I'm talking about the outrage mob, the Twitter outrage mob.
Oh, no, well, dude, that's one and the same. Those are the faux journalists. Those are the pop cultural, blue check mark, verified pansy asses getting their, their emotions all tangled up into this thing that really doesn't matter. But because it's Star Wars, well, it shouldn't matter, right? But because it's Star Wars, and because it's something that's recognizable and something that they grew up on, now that they're adults, it's something that automatically everyone has to have an opinion on, right? And it's like, okay, it's similar to how, I guess politically speaking, the Constitution is a very alive and breathing document, and similar to media, where we're supposed to look at it with a fresh new perspective when you grow up. And it's like, well, that's fine, but when you try to make a multi-million-dollar media conglomerate bend to your will, and everyone else has the same idea at once, bending to their own subjective will, what direction can you even go in? It can offend millions of people, but at the same time not offend millions of other people at all. So what direction do you go?
You go in the outraged direction because that's going to save you all the hatred toward your company.
Apparently.
And
but did that work? No.
No, it's the other. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
This is what they get. This wasn't happening before they fired her. This happened after.
Right.
This happened after they fired. So realistically, the outrage seems to be now coming completely, not only from the other side, but more. Look at this. This didn't happen when they were asking her to be fired. Now it's just all the way. They're talking about firing Kathleen too. And you know what? She kind of deserves it at this point because, and I'm not saying because of her opinions. I'm saying it because she's run the company into the ground.
Yeah, it's just the way they handle it.
So I don't like
atrocious.
Kathleen because I think she's a terrible head of Lucasfilm. William says it's very one-sided. Yeah, it is one-sided. It's the side of the people in power. And in the last few years, the people in power have all been on that side. And, sorry to tell you, that's the truth. They're in power. They were in power even in the last few years. Think about it. The last presidency really didn't move as much as it wanted to because the main people in power prevented him from doing anything.
Right.
Every move he made forward, they pushed him 10 steps backwards. And then they think that's funny, I guess. I don't really get it.
Well, they think that it's a badge of honor that they basically, what they did was they acted as the avant-garde roadblock, and they thought that everything that they did was in their power to stop, I guess we're talking about the presidency now, to stop the presidency, to stop the oppression, to basically be the voice of the people.
But that's
but you know what?
slacktivism.
But at the same time, the other side of the voice of the people is commenting on these types of videos right now saying this is bullshit. She shouldn't have been fired. So really, who is the voice? You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Well, which side do you go off of? Do you go off of sort of the false truth of, maybe I should pay attention to what these hotshot Twitter journos say? Or do you think independently and you say, something's up?
Well,
because you look at because you look at Twitter,
so weak-minded.
I understand that.
Mark's opinion.
No, I understand that. It's just a matter of I feel terrible for the impressionable minds that look at Twitter and they look at this opinion of Gina being fired from Star Wars, and they think to themselves, so many people are talking about this, right? They can't all be wrong if they're all talking in unison, and it's the sort of hive mind mentality that's really dangerous. Of, well, I don't want to be left out.
Well, that's the same
I better have
hive
an
mind
opinion
that runs the universities. I mean, we've seen it both firsthand. If the whole class thinks that President 45 is evil, right? Then one guy says, "Actually, I kind of like the guy." Boom. Yeah. That they would verbally harass that one guy to the point where it would basically be like burning him at the stake.
We had professors who I feel as though expressed interest for Trump, maybe even believed in some of his ideals. They definitely couldn't voice their opinion. And that was very unfortunate, because I think not so much of it didn't come down to political bias, personally. This is what I saw. It more so came down to the fact of, this professor thinks differently, thinks outside the box. And we had at least one professor together that did think this way, and he was always on the chopping block. And that's what I always felt bad for.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I can tell you that one of the worst experiences for somebody right now would be to work in education and not agree with the status quo. That's career suicide.
Yeah.
You would not last long. And as soon as they found out what your opinions are, which they will, by the way, they would take you down. And I know somebody who works in a school that has opinions that are pro-Trump, and he has not gotten a promotion in years. And new people that get hired have gotten up the food chain faster because they're like hyper socialist.
Right.
And you wonder, is that a coincidence or not? I don't think it is.
Well, you have so many instances of professors and people rising up in the ranks so quickly, having the same kind of mindset and ideology, and it's like, well, this can't be a coincidence. It happens to so many types of people. And it happened at our college, too. And that's unfortunate, because I fucking hated those professors. Politics aside, they talked as if they had a chip on their shoulder the entire time.
A lot of these professors are very, upset about, their, I don't make a lot, whatever. Then you look up their name on, what is it, Transparent California or something, and it's like, they make almost six figures, and you go, wait, what?
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like they ham up the narrative so that you feel bad for them and you actually pay attention in class. And it's got me a few times where it's like, oh fuck, this professor's putting in so much effort to teach the class, this, that, and the other thing, and it's like, well, they really don't need to try as hard if they're making this much money.
Well, no, but they seem so They spend the class acting like they're a victim.
Oh, right. No, that doesn't excuse the fact that they act bitter, but to the few times where they've gotten me to the point where it's like, oh, like, you know, they're so bitter because they're working hard, this, that, and the other thing, they must not make a lot. And then to find out, yeah, exactly, they make close to, if not mid, that level of six figures, I start to feel way less bad for them.
I don't know. That's this whole cancel culture thing is a product of people with too much time on their hands, with too much emotion and no real way to let it out, I guess.
Yeah.
So they find people that are more successful than them, and then they do everything they can to take them down, and then they move on to the next one, like a hunting pack.
It's
and
interesting,
there's no
though.
satisfaction.
Well, it's interesting, though, because the satisfaction in that, logically speaking, would be you take down someone who's much more successful than you, and then the person who took them down adopts those qualities, they become successful. It's sort of like a whole, the winner gets the spoils kind of thing, but they don't end up getting anything out of it. They don't even end up getting publicity out of it. It's the person who got canceled. They end up getting even more publicity because someone is publicizing their downfall. They're not publicizing the person that took them down. So it's just a waste of time at the end. So who fucking cares about the person who shot him down?
Look at this. I guess the guy who plays Mandalorian had tweeted this.
In
Here.
1865, losers in 1945, losers in 2020.
So, again, I don't think anyone should be fired for this. I also don't think anyone should be fired for tweeting the same thing in the opposite direction.
Right.
But this is socially acceptable, and the other thing isn't. And the funny thing is, this one specifically, I think this is actually worse because you're labeling a good 60 plus million people as this or this.
Right.
And in the other case, it wasn't really directed toward anyone in particular.
Well, I mean, you got to look at it and you got to think that must be such a stretch to compare MAGA, people who support Donald Trump, to people who support Adolf Hitler. You know, when you think of something like a dictatorship, I would say that Trump is the farthest thing. His administration was the farthest thing to anything that Hitler ever did. But people don't want to draw those conclusions. They think, this man is out to get me, and therefore this man is out to get other disenfranchised individuals, therefore he's the scourge. And it's like, well,
but you know what's the funny part? Is that if he was a dictator, wouldn't he still be in power right now?
I was gonna say, wouldn't he still be in power? I gotta admit, you know, as much as he kind of threw a little bit of a fit, at the end when he lost, he walked away. They all do at the end.
Right. And,
you know, it's just one of those things where it's like...
And in a way, by doing so, he proved them wrong. Because they thought he was going to, like...
They thought he was going to, like, barricade himself in the White House.
Yeah. And then, like... And what really got me was the fever dreams some people had of, like, I can't wait for him to resist so that the guards can drag him out by his feet and throw him on the sidewalk. Are you kidding me? You really think that was going to happen?
Oh man, I hope that I was pumped up about reading Mussolini in my history books. They like gagged him and like hung him in the square. Like, oh, I hope that they do that. And it's like, I feel like they were just trying to get their rocks off at the image of Trump in that predicament. And it's like, you know what?
But I
think people need a new hobby.
Have you realized some people literally got tattoos of his face with like an X over it or whatever? because they
that,
wanted to like get at him, even though I know he would never give a damn.
well, this one guy got a picture of like Trump with a dick in his mouth or something
That's
like
what it
that, and
was.
it's like, yeah, and it was like, and I don't typically watch Paul Joseph Watson as much as I think I used to, but I got to go off of what he said. Yeah, you sure showed him. You know,
Congratulations,
sarcasm,
bruh.
obviously. Yeah.
Like, these people have so much time on their hands, but yet at the same time, they complain that they don't have a job or they don't make enough or whatever. Well, if you're doing all this stuff, clearly, you might want to think about taking your time and putting it to better use.
Right.
Just a thought.
Just a thought.
Just a thought.
And you know what? At the end of the day, I think that's all it ever will be. Because I have yet to see anything productive come out of these types of people, online or in person.
These types of people, you mean? I need the picture. These types of people?
Oh my god. I remember seeing the original video of that.
Is this the epitome of productive?
Did you just say epitome?
Yeah,
Fool.
I know, but
before I lump you into that
silence.
group.
I say it that way on purpose.
Epitome. No, it was the woman who was like, "Oh, I shower, I'm triggered. I get in the car, I'm triggered."
Epitome.
Oh, that is that is the what was her name? Like Candy or Cherry or something?
I thought this was a joke originally. I
No.
didn't think it was real.
Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. It's
This
horrible.
is Bloodhound from Apex Legends. I don't know why Bloodhound is triggered, but we're just gonna throw Bloodhound into the mix anyways. Triggered.
We'll throw Bloodhound in there.
Did you? There was like a movie or something. Was it this? I think
Triggered? I don't think.
They made a movie about like hunting down white supremacists or something, and it was supposed to be like a. No, it wasn't.
9 young people wake up in the woods to discover they've been strapped with suicide bombs in Alistair Orr's violent thriller.
Oh, it might have been this.
Okay. I mean, it's an interesting concept, but it seems too woke for my blood.
I really want to remember what the name of that thing was. It was like a controversy. I don't know if it was this movie. No, or maybe it was. I don't remember. Pretty much, it was something similar to that, where it was like the Purge, but for white supremacists.
Oh.
And that pissed off a lot of people. Why trigger?
Wait. So it was a movie that was for white supremacists, or it was
like,
bashing white supremacists.
It was like the Hunger Games of white supremacists.
I was gonna say
the
last
left was throwing them into like a field.
The last Purge. The last Purge movie that was made by Gerard McMurray, and he is an up and coming black director who's directed a handful of like black films, obviously, and this one was called, I believe, like the first Purge. Like this was like the prequel to the first one, to all the Purge movies. And if I remember correctly, if you've never seen the movie, it's a lot cheesier. But they don't call it the Purge; they just call it like the Experiment or something. Because it isn't funded by the NFF, New Founding Fathers of America. Yeah, the NFFA. So they begin the experiment with like the poorer residents, like the poorer communities, and put it simply, the experiment is not going as planned. So the individuals in charge of it end up releasing mercenaries and white supremacists into into the mix to provide, they're basically falsifying the results of this experiment, saying, "Oh, look, there's killing, we swear." But at the end of the movie, it was basically just a glorified, "Hey, let's kill as many white supremacists as possible, so we can show that it's an effective lead character." And it's like, okay, anyone who's not a fucking psychopath knows that white supremacy is bad. Okay. I would say to over glorify that, to the point where it's like, hey, we need to show you why this is bad by just brutally murdering a bunch of Klansmen. I'm sure that that's someone's idea of a good action movie. It definitely had a lot more social commentary than.
I really want to know the official number, which I don't think there exists one, of quote unquote white supremacists. And I kind of want to know how they even identify them, but I know the SPLC is one of the worst sources to look anything like that up for. Because they're like... have you seen these guys, the hate map?
So there's a lot in California.
Yeah, that's the funny part.
Oh, look at that. There's none in Wyoming.
Act for America. House of Israel.
Okay, I've never seen this map before. I'll have to...
Proud Boys.
So this shows every single group that is deemed...
that they deem is a hate
dangerous. Group. Half these just sound like gangs.
American Freedom Party, white nationalist.
Isn't American Freedom Party something that you can actually vote on the ballot?
Black Riders Liberation Party, general hate. What? Look at this one.
Committee for Open Debate on the Holocaust. Like, what unhinged individuals, just actively support this?
House of Israel, general hate. According to who? How do they measure that? That's what I want to know. How do you measure
Mass
that?
Resistance, Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam? Oh, that's going to turn some heads.
All of this in
Proud
are you
Boys.
Sure? How many members do these even have? Or is it just the name and nothing behind it?
I was going to say, if you click on one, because I'm looking at the symbols right now, and I saw one with, a swastika. I saw one with, 3 lines.
Oh, wait. Oh, it just defines a neo-Nazi.
Oh, a neo-Nazi shares a hatred for Jews. Okay. Okay, well, let's go to a different state. So, hold on. So, go to Wyoming.
You're gonna laugh. Oh, there it is. Okay.
There's one group. It's the Patriot Front. Well, I don't see a dot. It must not exist.
If an item does not show up in our records, it does not exist.
Now, I'm willing to bet... Wait. Israel United in... I feel like half these are just churches.
Yeah, they are. But the SPLC is not particularly fond of religion, as far as I know.
So how about we give them the benefit of the doubt and go to one of the most liberal states, New York? Surely there can't be any hate in New York, right?
Oh, it's a lot of the same ones. Act for America.
Oh, I was wrong.
Ambassadors of Christ, general hate.
General hate. Catholic Family News, Catholic Family Ministry.
Radical Traditional Catholicism. So that's apparently hate. Okay.
House of David. Israel United in Christ. See, imagine.
Oh my
imagine
God.
Imagine you were an avid churchgoer or religious official, and you find your organization on this map. Wouldn't you be fuming?
I would be. Weird, I'm in Hawaii and it brought me... Oh, what a coincidence. Greetings from Hawaii.
Greetings.
Hey, man Ryan, have you seen any radical hate groups marching around the Hawaiian Islands lately? Are you one of them?
It almost just makes me wonder if like half of these just are just pulled out of just pulled out of the ass and just defined as a hate group.
Wait a second.
What?
It says California has more than Texas.
Okay, California is 72, Texas is 54. Well, what's in Texas? Is it just the same? Yo, what's that one by the what's that one by the border on the left side?
Tom Brown Ministries. Dude, I feel like they're gonna name every religious group this one.
Either every religious group or like
Just by
every
default.
like sanctuary city. That is right there on the border. I feel so bad for the people.
Church of the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Actually, we had Trump rallies here and had hundreds of people honking and support, and like only a dozen Biden supporters. You can tell because when they drive by, they give you the half peace sign.
Oh, no way. That's
Who's giving the half peace sign?
like the Biden supporters, like they're admitting defeat or what? I was going to say,
I'm curious now.
Is Hawaii a fairly conservative state, or is that Alaska?
I think that's Alaska.
Alaska.
Hawaii
okay.
actually has one of the most obnoxious people in the Senate.
But they had Tulsi.
Tulsi's nice. I like her.
She was like the closeted conservative. She was the one who voted nay for the impeachment.
If a woman ran for president as a Democrat, she would probably be the only Democrat I would ever vote for.
Oh, definitely.
Right. And that's just because she's still, in my opinion, the closest you'd be to like a moderate.
I was gonna say, wasn't she like an Air Force or like Air National Guard pilot or something?
Yeah, no, she's a veteran. I think not only she's a veteran, she's still on active duty.
Right.
But the there's a senator in Hawaii. I forgot her name. During a lot of these recent hearings, she was, oh my gosh, she was so obnoxious. And it was like an embarrassment to the state for some people, because a lot of the things she said weren't even like cohesive. They weren't. They weren't even like. I don't know how to explain it. She basically wasted breath with every word that she said. What are the other hate groups here?
I was gonna say we might just have to go to another state. They say Democrat, but in reality, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it's very closeted in their republicanism, and that's really a shame, because the people of Hawaii have been nothing but like just independent, and I love that.
Utah.
Oh, there's one in Utah. Oh, what is it, like the Mormon Church?
Oh, I need you to say that. Yeah, it's Senator Hirono. Thank you.
Yeah.
I need you to use your half German blood and pronounce this for me.
Oh god, what is that? That's D. Auscherwalten?
Sure.
D. Auscherwalten? Am I gonna get thrown in jail for saying that?
I'm sure I can arrange something if you wanted to. I don't know if you're interested in that sort of thing.
Jeez, that is a lot of hate. They have one hate group.
What's Volskish?
I feel like we should look that up.
I'm kind of curious. Oh, I can just click on it.
Born out of an atavistic defiance of modernity and rationalism, present-day neo-Volskish or folkish adherents and groups are organized around ethnocentricity and archaic notions of archaic notions of gender, meaning this is a boy, this is a girl.
What does this mean?
What? The largest neo-Volkish hate group in the United States had another very active year. The pandemic had another very active year. The pandemic. Do these people not even know how to fucking spell?
No, they don't.
What's ahead?
Reliance
A
on
bygone-
imagery and myths of a bygone romanticized Viking era. What?
seeks to transcend nationalism and wield whiteness as it suits their ill-conceived ends. Transcend nationalism. Okay, well, take out wield whiteness, and that sounds fucking awesome. I would want to be a transcending nationalistic Viking.
Careful, I'm about to say that on Twitter and just watch you get canceled.
Oh man, oh well.
So it's like Viking.
So it's Viking ideology, I guess.
Oh my.
I
Okay.
interesting.
I don't. How do they even? Never mind. I don't want to know.
Kind of want to go to Florida.
Rhode Island. So Patriot Front seems to be supposedly.
Patriot Front is like a recurring one.
I'm kind of curious if I look them up. What exactly are they? Not the ADL. I want to go to their actual website.
Just go to Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is like edited by random people, though.
Oh, that's
they wrote neo-fascist, but I want to actually know what they want.
I doubt that half of these quote-unquote hate groups actually have websites. I mean, the KKK does.
I think
but...
this is it.
Is that it? Yeah, that's it.
Manifesto. Ooh.
The manifesto. Alright, that's cringe. Our cruel and unrelenting resistance leaves us no choice but to bear resistance to the most. Okay.
What do these guys want? What makes them... The resurgence of the American spirit will bring with it the death of tyranny?
I mean, so far it sounds pretty legit. Better to fight for something than die for nothing? George Patton?
Does anywhere here have the word white? No.
No. So it's for everyone then.
Does anything here say color? No.
Checkmate. Does anything there say nationalist?
Nation. National spirit.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Okay, so then what exactly did these people do?
So what's hateful about them?
I mean, it
Well,
looks
what is
like
Southern
it could be a person
what
of
is-
color and joined this, and no one would even...
What does Southern Poverty Law Center have to say? Is an image-obsessed organization that rehabilitated the explicitly fascist.
Oh God, it's a barf of words.
Patriot Front focuses on theatrical rhetoric and activism that can be easily distributed as propaganda for its chapters. I mean, I feel like that's any organization this past presidential year.
Theatrical. So like Jussie Smollett. Oops. I said a thing.
The American identity was something uniquely forged in the struggle that our ancestors... Oh, okay. This is
This is what they're saying. I'm just looking for like...
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. An African, for example, may have lived, worked, and have been classified as a citizen in America for centuries, yet he is not American. He is as likely prefers to be labeled an African American. The same rule applies to others who are not the founding stock of our people, as well as to those who do not share the common unconscious that permeates throughout our greater civilization and the European diaspora. So, what does it just come down to identity then? Like, if you're an African born in America, you're an African American, and that's okay?
Does it say against communism? I don't...
Oh. No,
No.
it's just communications.
And I don't think it said that on their website either. It looks like it's just a club. I don't...
It feels like it's just a club, yeah.
Unite the right.
I can understand. I can understand how like some people at first glance would be like, "Oh, well, that's racist."
I mean,
but
like,
I feel like
if
I feel
saw
like
somewhere where
everything.
it said like we're going to restore the, I don't know,
Right.
the white like master race or something like that. Like,
Well, I feel like everything that's prefixed with patriot is automatically deemed as racist.
or like what about the Act for America? We saw them a lot too. Jesse
So this is in
Smollett
Florida.
equals Dave Chappelle. Oh, Juice. Yo, yeah, you're right. Juicy Smollett. I listened to that Dave Chappelle thing. He was pretty on point criticizing that guy for acting like a moron.
Stop Democrats from federalizing our elections. Take action here. So,
Wait, what did they insult?
What
them
is
for?
this?
Anti-Muslim.
interesting.
Oh, I've seen these guys.
I've never seen this.
I'm pretty sure I have. But why are they anti-Muslim exactly?
Interesting.
Oh, because they supported the ban or some.
Islam is a supremacist, totalitarian political ideology masquerading as a religion. It's as dangerous as Nazism or communism and must be eradicated. Jesus.
So this is from the main. Well, I will say this: the religion itself is not particularly peaceful. You can be peaceful and practice the religion, but the religion itself, in the book, in the written text, is not the nicest thing in the world.
No, the Bible's been revised several times. The Torah has been revised several times. Not the Quran, though. The Quran still exists in the 7th century. And
I mean, think about it this way: how many terrorist organizations use that religion as an excuse to murder people in the mass? That seems like a pretty big problem to me, and I don't see.
I feel like that's any religious
well, no,
book.
no, because in 2021, how many people use Judaism
well,
or
yeah,
Christianity
2021, and I feel like the most that Christians would
murder?
do. I feel like the most that Christians would do is just stand outside with signs saying why your religion is bad.
They don't cut people's heads off.
Well, white people are very scared of confrontation. What do you want me to say? They're not going to be violent about it. Now, they'll hold up signs and tell you why your religion is wrong if it doesn't align with theirs.
Well, that's their
Westboro Baptist Church does that
pretty
great.
much able to do that without, as long as you're not persecuting anybody. You can openly criticize, and that's fine. But then you have. Did you see what happened in France? I think it was France. There was a teacher that got his head cut off, and apparently,
I did not know.
Apparently, the student of that teacher was Muslim, and she lied to her dad and said that the teacher was talking trash about the religion, and then the dad or something cut off the teacher's head as retaliation. Here, I think. Oops. Of course I wrote the wrong. Here. News? Here. French schoolgirl admits lying about murdered teacher.
Jesus.
A French schoolgirl has admitted to spreading false claims about a teacher before he was murdered last year. Supposedly showing cartoons of Muhammad. And she told her father that he had asked Muslim students to leave the classroom while he was showing a cartoon because it was apparently about Muhammad, I guess. And he filed a complaint, and then I guess the so his head was cut off. And then the perpetrator was also killed by the police afterwards. So it's like this. Remember that other thing? It was like a publisher, and they got shot up.
Yeah.
That the thing that gets me is that like there is a level of extremism that criticizing that these days is even considered controversial. That's what pisses me off. It's like, yeah,
right.
I admit that in history, we've had a lot of people under the guise of Christianity go around and kill people. Yeah, that happened. But we don't do that these days. We haven't done that for quite a while now. You guys kind of got to catch up, man. I mean, I'm just saying, like, look at the Bible. The Bible doesn't say to erase the lives of your enemies because they don't follow your religion. I'm pretty sure it doesn't say that.
Well, not in the 21st century. If you go back to the Crusade period, I mean, that's all it fucking was.
The Crusaders used it as an excuse, but I don't think it was written.
Well, they used it as an excuse, and they were like, "Well,
they were following the church.
How do we solve this conflict of a what's the word? Of a theocratic government?" Yeah.
I mean, how do you even punish a person for this? The student who caused her teacher to be beheaded admit that she lied. How do you?
The damage is already done. I mean,
you can't unbehead somebody. It's over. Like, the guy died for nothing.
Right.
How do you? Where's the justice that you can even get from a situation like that? So did she was trying to cancel culture the teacher, and they canceled his life.
Holy shit! I just realized that's where we started from.
Yeah, they took cancel culture to the farthest extreme that you can get to.
I wonder if we could just cancel culture at all these groups out of existence.
I wonder if you could just cancel culture.
Yeah. Let's see, you could just pull like a reverse Uno on them.
That is a very long name.
I don't understand the symbols. I still don't.
That's the that's the KKK hat.
Oh. See, to me it just looks like a triangle.
It's a triangle with eyes.
Oh, okay. I see like a triangle. I see a crown. I see a diamond.
Racist skinhead.
Oh god, come on. We gotta look at those. Crew 30. Racist skinheads once formed the most violent-minded element of the white supremacists, often referred to as the shock troops of the hoped-for white revolution. The movement flourished during the 1980s and 1990s, particularly the lucrative international hate music scene.
Associated extremist profiles.
Eric the Butcher.
Why?
Dude, that guy...
Oh!
Fucking...
Renamed himself the Butcher.
A fucking meathead.
So he hasn't actually butchered anyone? How can you call yourself the Butcher?
He's butchering the feelings, bro. If you don't agree with me, get the hell out of here.
Someone runs the SPLC website and has
someone
to
runs it and
crap.
is very confident about their entries.
Look, they even have an ideology filter.
Oh, jeez. Okay, wait. Hate
music.
What is the first one?
Anti-immigrant.
Anti-immigrant, anti-LGBTQ, anti-Muslim, Christian identity. So Christian identity is proclaimed to be just hateful? Is a unique anti-Semitic and racist theology that rose to a position of commanding influence on the racist right in the 1980s. Christian and name only, it asserts that white people, not Jews, are the true Israelites favored by God in the Bible. The movement's relationship with the evangelicals and fundamentalists has generally been hostile due to the return of the Jews to Israel is essential to the fulfillment of end-time prophecy.
He works in the meat department. Who? The guy. The tattooed guy that we just saw.
Yeah. I think I called him a meathead.
Yeah, he's the butcher, so he works in the meat department.
I've never heard of Christian identity being something that's racist. I just thought of, oh, you're a Christian. You believe in a Christian
It looks
path,
like
a Christian
it's some
identity.
it's like this is like a name, but it has nothing to. That's why it says in name only. But
Is it like?
But
Is
the
that
way
the reason
that
why
it's
they
written
use?
makes it sound like this whole thing in the larger scope is this. Which
Is
kind
that
of
the
annoys
reason
me.
why they have the crown? Because it's like, oh, it's so much more of a holier than thou sort of religion. Like
I don't
when I think
know.
when I think of Christian identity, I don't think of white power. You know what I mean?
Look at this.
I was married to an Aryan supreme. Oh, I feel bad. 2 months after this interview, Chris Eddy died. Her funeral service. Aw. Wow. Was an aide-de-camp in the 1980s to Richard G. Butler, the notorious racist founder of the Aryan Nations in North Idaho.
She loved the man but hated it. Okay.
Interesting.
But here's the thing. This is my real question. Okay, we have all these dots. How many of these dots have millions of members associated with them? I really don't think there's any.
Well, you look at the KKK, the Proud Boys, they have a predominant number. But then yeah, you look at this shit, there's 2 dots in Nevada, but you have all these groups, and it's like, there should either be more dots or less members per group. This is just really misleading. So
here's a question for you. Where's all the communist groups? No, really, it's a legitimate question.
with all this hate, there's no room for communism.
We have neo-Nazis, fine. White nationalists, fine. Radical traditional Catholicism, whatever. The freaking Neo-Voskich, whatever.
The Vikings.
The Viking. Yeah, we have all the way to the Vikings. We have music. Where's communism? I'm pretty sure a lot of people died under communism. Do I have to pull the numbers out?
Maybe we should ask them. Oh wait, we can't.
Stalinism caused 6 million direct deaths and 9 million in total. Okay.
What were the other 3 million caused by?
Let's try Mao. Oop, not Moana. Mao. Oh, 15 to 55 million people.
You know. Oh, what is that? 58 to 62, only in a 4-year time span?
They don't even know how many people died. That's the scarier part. How did Mao manage? Oh, because he didn't directly kill them. He indirectly killed them.
The blood's still on his hands there.
Because he tried to transform China's economy from agrarian to industrial and caused a famine. The commies made the website. Yeah. I mean, that's who the SPLC are anyways. I mean, look, this is basically just the Democrat, platform.
For as so up to date that the far left likes to be on the news, it's amazing how this is only updated up to 2020. God knows how many more groups there are now.
I wonder...
Like if it's only up to 2020?
Who runs the SPLC?
Oh, there's 2 white guys.
Beautiful. Oh, here's the leadership team.
So what's the difference?
I don't know.
Huh. There's a leadership team, and
so these are the people that dictate to you who's hateful and who isn't. I wanted to know their about us. What do they want? What do they want? Catalyst for racial justice. Working to dismantle white supremacy, strengthen intersectional movements, and advance the human rights of all people.
You know, it's funny. I had a college class that delved into intersectionalism, and
I did too.
I don't know if you had a lecture like this. This one was probably one of the most profound lectures I think I've ever had in my entire college career. So we're delving into what intersectionalism is and how, you know, it's all connected kind of thing. And I can't help but think to myself, and I don't know if I should be careful or not how I word this, but I remember thinking to myself how lazy of a concept it was. It's basically the whole oh, art is subjective, everything is good, everything is tolerant, you know, kind of thing. And I wanted to ask my professor about it, right?
Isn't it?
Yeah. She beat me to it. She was like, this is a very vague concept that I expect you all to never understand.
That's what our teacher said too. I don't think we had the same person.
No, we did not have the same person. This is a very vague concept I expect you to never understand. And I don't know if she was trying to be coy or what, but, I mean, needless to say, I got, you know, good marks on all my papers. But, again, I don't know if that was just if it was just a way of saying, hey, here's a freebie.
So basically what they're trying to say is,
like,
all
this
these
topic
different
is
bubbles
so...
This topic
is so vague
in some way,
yeah.
And wherever you find yourself in that connection determines something, but I don't know what.
No, basically saying that if one group is oppressed, they are all oppressed by some degree or another. Okay, so when you look at an individual, you have to take into account gender identity, nationality, sexual orientation, race, disability, and you have to understand, you know, you're only as strong as your weakest link. But if one link is weak, then the entire fucking body just shuts down. Like there isn't even a path for redemption on how to fix the situation that you're in.
Avoid oversimplified language.
Well, why?
By avoiding language that assumes our own experiences are... Like, see, this is literally what college is these days. By avoiding language that assumes our own experiences are baseline, we can open ourselves up to listening to others' points of view.
Did you ever have a situation where that actually came into effect? I feel like for most college classes, if you said something that was deemed like, I wouldn't like call it offensive, but just like oversimplified, as this article likes to put it, I feel like no one would get offended. I feel like just people would want you to explain yourself further.
I was in like the ultimate fire pit of doom, and that was called the Women and Politics class.
I never got that situation where it's like, you're being very
scared.
Misogynist.
I was scared.
I never got
class.
that.
I could tell you that right now, that I was scared of breathing. Because most of the people in that class were women. A portion of the people in that class were people of women, I guess, of different orientation.
Like of color or like bisexuality? Or like sexual orientation?
Yeah. And I guess, yeah, there were people of different backgrounds, but I was scared of saying anything. And the few times that I was forced to, because it was like my turn to talk or whatever, I was just reading the answer off of like whatever the text was, word for word almost, because I was terrified that if I misspoke something, and if you look around you when you talk, you'd notice it, their eyes are piercing into your very soul, looking for a reason to cause trouble.
Right.
And that was terrifying. I mean, you can't blame me for it, because the second I said something wrong, it was going to be a problem.
Well, it's just so hard to avoid oversimplified language when the topic of intersectionality itself is so fucking vague. How do you delve deeper into it?
You want me to oversimplify language? Get ready. I'm going to offend the entire world. You ready? Fireman. Mailman. Ooh. Send me to jail. I didn't say person.
No, it's congressperson.
Dang, I need to borrow some rope. I think I'm just gonna end it here before the mob comes for me.
So we have firemen, longshoremen, policemen. It reminds me of that meme where it's just like... It went along the lines of like... Oh my god, let me see if I can find it. But it went along the lines of like... It's not the fact that women get paid less than men when men are doctors, teachers, policemen, etc. It's the fact that women just get put in lower paying jobs like women policemen, women professor. Oh my god, it was hysterical. And yeah, it was like dry humor, satire, don't burn me to a fucking cross or whatever. But it's like... It's that type of humor that's just like it sticks out to you.
Cancel culture.
Gone
History,
with the Wind.
Art, speech.
No, hey, you can't say that. Gone with the Wind was deemed a racist film.
That's true.
Cancel that. All right, next.
I want to see if there's like dedicated to the cancel culture statue purge of 2020.
Yeah, let's remove statues
it's a guy
and
pulling
completely
down a guy pulling down a statue.
Let's completely remove the statues and not learn from history whatsoever. You're going down, fascists. These people would never survive 2 minutes in a military field.
No, dude.
Never mind active duty. Never mind reserve duty.
Well, here's the thing.
I can only imagine.
I admittedly say I don't think I would either. But I don't think I would.
I think that you have. I think that you have thick enough skin.
I would probably be able to get through it, but like if it was just right now, like at this exact moment, probably not. But I admit that. And I understand my own limitations. These people think that they're the army of the universe coming down to bring, like, justice and peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire.
Well, yeah, because when you go on Twitter, you have very, very strict standards. But not only do you have these strict standards, you fail to realize that the people with the blue check marks are also the judge, jury, and executioner. And they will fucking execute you.
She's saying this to you, by the way, not to me.
No, honey, you're thinner than me, not prettier. Well...
I think I broke him. We're having technical difficulties.
Jesus Christ! I could say so much, but I can't.
I recommend you don't. I recommend you, for your own sake. I recommend you don't. I would like to leave that up to people's imagination.
You know what I would love to ask though? What is the attractive quality of sort of just the snarkiness that overbears most of these feminists?
I own, Blazing Saddles and a couple of Dr. Seuss books. I also have some original Dude, those things are collector's items now.
I was gonna say, you own Dr. Seuss books? Oh, you're going to jail.
I heard they went up in value.
Yeah, they did. 1% lean mass. Yeah, literally. Portable ball set. Cultural Marxism studies.
Always
Trust
into
fund.
arts or social studies.
Trust fund? Since fucking when?
SJWs had a very privileged start in their life. Trust funds and permissive parents letting them leech off of them until at least their mid-30s.
SJWs have no idea what earning means. They want everything handed to them. Okay, that's fair. See, I didn't read the rest of it.
I mean,
I don't know one.
technically,
SJW.
I have bleached hair, but don't look at me that way.
Hey, man. Cultural Marxism, bleached hair, fat. Oh, well, you said that you lost weight, so I guess you're fine.
I mean, I was never fat to begin with. I know you're thinking something. Don't say it.
I was going to say, I never knew any kind of millennial that had a trust fund. Like, even from their parents.
Ryan is just going to go like, oh, God.
Jesus. Oh, my God.
Read it. Please read it for me. I'm going to give you this one.
I own Blazing Shadows.
The last comment.
Well, hopefully she doesn't protect and... Hey, wait. That's offensive. How do you know that she's a she?
That's true, man, Ryan.
It could be a they.
You might have just stepped in it.
God, you fucking bigot.
See, now, as a good man of society, I'm going to have to dox you and find out all your information, and then we're going to raid your property and take your Aunt Jemima syrups from your cabinet.
A man, Ryan? You know Ryan is a gender-neutral name.
Yeah, why couldn't you be a woman, Ryan? Seems kind of wrong.
Or a they, Ryan. What, was a they, Ryan, already taken? Oh, I'm having fun.
Smash the oligarchy.
Okay,
right.
so when we did our first video of reacting to political photos, we saw a lot of smash the patriarchy, patriarchy's bad, ooga booga men kind of thing, kind of signs. But now it's the oligarchy. So I'm guessing this is not in the United States.
Join the resistance. Oh God, another Star Wars reference. It starts to get on your nerves after a while.
No, the V for Vendetta, the Guy Fawkes mask is easily more cringe.
You know, I originally thought it would be a really cool tattoo to get the Rebel Alliance logo. But,
dude, I see so many. Dude,
after the last 4 years, hell no, I'd get the Imperial logo.
Dude, don't. I see so many pudgy 30-somethings with the fucking rebel tattoo, and it's like, oh, I'm part of the resistance. It's like, bro, you've never fucking fired a weapon.
Here, we're gonna go with this one.
It's so much cooler.
I mean, this symbol now, I think, is even like a hate sign at this point. I wouldn't be surprised.
My God, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't deny it.
They canceled butter? Which butter did they
What?
cancel?
Oh, did they cancel Land O'Lakes with the Native American girl, Mia? No. It has to be. Wait, do Land O'Lakes canceled? I think it's that one.
What's it called?
Land O'Lakes. Cancel. Wait, that's Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah, here it is.
Yep. Yeah,
You're
so
right.
let's remove yet another minority icon that helped pave the way for many other icons to be featured on food, and yeah, you know, like, let's just knock representation out of the conversation, because they did the same thing with Aunt Jemima.
No, what's wrong with this? I don't understand.
Nothing's wrong with it.
I thought we were at a point where, like, we could use imagery from all over the world, and that's just something that, it's like it makes you more aware, doesn't it? Like,
Right.
somebody
Like
might,
when you
like as a
like
kid,
when you go
right?
to
You
buy
might be like, oh, I that looks like a really interesting thing. I might want, like, I want to ask, who is this person, or what are they supposed to represent?
well, like when you go to a store, when you went to a store in the last 10 to 15 years and you wanted a bottle of syrup, you know by name what that syrup is.
Aunt Jemima,
Yeah.
like that was, it's like
You
burned
know,
into my brain. Like, that's the syrup company that I
like
will buy
like you don't
from.
even you don't even call it syrup anymore. You just
No.
say, "Oh, just get a bottle of Aunt Jemima." And it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? But it's a cultural thing that is now stripped away, and it's like, was that really worth it? Did that end racism for you?
This is going to end racism right here. The chief of the Cherokee Nation
The
says
Cherokee
it's
Nation is
I
asking
will not
Jeep
listen to
to
your
stop using
advertising the hill.
The hell?
Canceled Jeep Cherokee. So all right.
Okay, hold on.
I'm with the train here. We're gonna get William and the man Ryan. We're gonna
I think
march
we're
over
in
to
a
the
day-
Jeep headquarters, and we're gonna
What does it say? I think we're in a day and age in a country where it's time to what now? Where it's time for both corporations and team sports to retire the use of Native American names, images, and mascots from their products, team jerseys, and sports in generals. Chuck Hoskin Jr., Principal Chief of the Cherokee Nation, told car and driver. Huh, interesting.
no, the chat is actually not on slow. I don't know why it's coming in late for you. I think there's like a 10-second delay on the stream, but
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think that that's the chat. Kind of weird.
So we've canceled butter, we've canceled syrup, we've canceled a brand of cars. What else can we cancel?
Well, we have to cancel ourselves, of course.
Oh man.
I mean, if you do it, I'll do it. That seems fair.
We'll post the suicide link on 4chan and we'll just we'll go from there.
No, the last time you showed me one of those, it was a very other thing, and I was not satisfied with what I saw. In fact, I think it was in my nightmares.
Yeah, it was really like it was false information is what it was.
No, it was traumatic.
Yeah, it was also traumatic.
See, that's real trauma for you.
That's real. You went to war? I saw
Veritas
4chan link.
Trismegistus. I tried. I tried. Just stop buying those brands. Yeah, if you can get people to stop buying those brands, I guess as an individual, if you want to do that,
that's what I mean. But see, that's the thing too. These companies that have these particular individuals, on their logos, Aunt Jemima, Mia, the Native American girl. It's like these companies have monopolies on these types of commodities. Like, sure, there exists different brands of syrup and butter, but it's like you go with what's most familiar, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to be like, oh, fucking Land O'Lake. It's cheap, it's in surplus. I don't think there's ever going to be a downswing on butter where I'll never be able to get it. Yeah.
Have you seen the controversial book list? This honestly angers me beyond anything else. The Catcher in the Rye, Kill a Mockingbird.
Okay. I have a story about the controversial book list. Okay. So I don't know about you, but in 9th grade, I was in honors English. And again, I don't know if your class managed to follow in that same kind of procedure of like getting a big book list and having your parents sign it because, oh, in this class, we're going to be dealing with themes of violence, sex, drugs, alcohol. You know what I mean? Like your parents had to sign it.
In 9th grade, I mean, it's possible.
Right, well,
I
it was
wasn't
basically
like the
just, like-
honors English, but like
It was like a waiver.
there were so many signed things that I
Okay.
don't even recall. It's possible.
So on one hand, we get this whole huge list of books that we're going to be like analyzing and stuff like that. We didn't even get through, I want to say, 7 in my entire 4 years of high school. But that's besides the point. These books were quote unquote banned. We were led to believe that you couldn't get them anywhere besides online, and I didn't know a 14-year-old that had a debit card back then, at least. So where the hell were we supposed to get these books?
Okay.
Well, turns out you could get them in our school library. And yeah, I'm seeing Animal Farm on screen right there. That was one of the first books that we read.
This was one of the first books that we read as well.
Alongside like The Pearl.
No, we didn't have that one.
Catcher in the Rye.
We got that one.
Was another one. But there was one that I was looking for, which I couldn't find anywhere. Oh, Brave New World was one.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird was another one. Lord of the Flies was another one.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one that I couldn't find, and that was Clockwork Orange.
Oh.
Now, when I finally got my hands on the book, I mean, half of it was like in Russian slang. So it took me a while just to read the fucking thing. But Fahrenheit 451. I keep thinking of them.
That one's the most ironic of them all.
Yeah, that one is the most ironic of them all. But
and I never understood what the problem was with it.
What I was getting at was essentially after each and every one of these books that I read, I walked away from each of them thinking, why in the hell was this banned? What emotional scarring are these books? Do these books have the power to do to me? And it was nothing. It wasn't just me either. Not one person walked away from reading these books a shell of their former self because they just couldn't fucking take what was in the pages. I never understood that.
Most of the kids didn't even pay attention, to be quite candid with you, but like this one was, I know the teacher was uncomfortable reading any of it out loud because of some of the language. Right.
And I can totally understand that, but
is this just a full leak of the book? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, dude, you could find To Kill a Mockingbird anywhere.
What else is here? Looking for why is that controversial?
Oh god, Looking for Alaska is not one of John Green's best books.
Some of this stuff isn't even...
There's Fahrenheit 451 over there.
A Wrinkle in Time.
James and the Giant Peach, why?
What's wrong with this?
The movie fucked me up as a kid, sure, but...
Controversy? Oh, is it just because of the author?
Wasn't Charlie and the Chocolate Factory banned as well?
I have no idea. The second that they start going off on books, you know that, like, they're not going to stop until they're completely...
Oh, no.
You know.
Definitely
like,
not.
okay, that sucks. The author was, you know, whatever. But
was anti-Semitic, yeah.
But the text has a message. It has a story.
Roald Dahl was anti-Semitic, yeah. And Walt Disney was too, and they built a fucking park around him.
You know what I mean? Why should the story of the book be compromised by the behavior off the pages of an author? It doesn't make sense to me.
Again, I think it's one of those things where it's just like journalists hope to get some sort of conclusion out of it where by diminishing the credibility of the author, who, by the by, is most likely deceased at this point, so they feel no remorse in in challenging them, you know? Because what's he gonna do? Retort?
Oh, trigger
No.
warning. I forgot to say that. I'm sure this is gonna demonetize the video.
What, book burning?
Yeah. Yeah, here's the Indiana Jones one, okay, guys? It's
Yeah.
the fictional picture. That's okay.
Don't worry, Harrison Ford was in it. Han Solo was in it, guys. It's okay.
I mean, have you seen the the burnings that they've done here? This honestly, like this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
what's your message, buddy? What
Trump
are you trying
wants
to get?
to ban flag burning. As do I. Why would you burn a flag? No matter what nationality you come from.
Yeah, but what's wrong with this one? That's what I don't understand. The fact that you could do this alone just means that this symbol allows you to.
Right.
So by doing this, what you might just end up getting is something that would kill you for doing this.
Well,
That's the thing. You want to
You
replace it, go for it, but
Yeah.
then you're going to realize that what you got in its place is a billion times worse than what you had.
did you ever see the video of the sergeant? This
Does
army
Disney own
sergeant.
the rights to that which movie? What video are we talking about?
Oh no, I was gonna say, did you ever see the video of this army sergeant who, like, he got into it with like some Karen about like his uniform, and this guy was so downtrodden, but he was so committed to his time spent in the service. I don't remember what exactly this woman did, but he ended up burning his ceremonial uniform.
I saw that video recommended to me like a few days ago.
Mm-hmm. It was so...
I watched the whole thing, actually. It was this guy.
Yep. Yeah.
I felt really bad for him. So the story was that he, some crazy lady was on his property,
Oh, that's right.
and he had told her to leave, and she said no. And he said it's private property, and she didn't want to respect that. So she called the police on him, and then lied and said that he chased her around with a knife, threatening to kill her. And then he went to court, and the judge was like, ruled in the lady's favor, even though there's no evidence of anything like that happening. And it wouldn't make sense. If he chased some old lady around with a knife, he would have gotten her. How could he chase an old woman? Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Right.
And he said the judge looked exactly like the lady that called the cops in the first place. So they're of the same.
God.
They're the same cut. So
Right.
so they charged him, and they were even trying to take him to jail for God knows how many hundreds of days for it. So the system failed him, and he served in war, and he's a veteran. He got a Purple Heart. The part that really gets you is this one, the Purple Heart. He puts it on the uniform before he burns it. He says, "I can never replace this."
Look at how decorated he was. That's unfortunate. It really is. This is what cancel culture does to you. Doesn't improve
No,
lives in
it
the
is
slightest.
it's an offshoot of cancel culture if you think about it, because the lady was trying to cancel him for
Right.
and the funny part is she apparently even acknowledged that she was on private property, but yet she still didn't want to get off of it. I wish he recorded the confrontation. That would never have been able to get you wouldn't be able to get away with it. And these days, I feel like you almost are compelled to record confrontations out of fear that the other person's going to lie about it.
Gotta get video evidence for everything nowadays.
I mean, really, I could, realistically speaking, I could say anything that you may or may not have done to me right now. and they would take that seriously with no evidence other than word of mouth. They tried to cancel the Supreme Court justice for something that some person that they found claimed that he did, and there was no evidence. That you see, the thing is, you don't need evidence anymore. That's the scary part. You used to need something. Oh, so-and-so did something to me 35 years ago. Does anyone else want to corroborate that? No, you just have to take my word for it. Oh, it's a woman saying it, therefore she's right. She has to be right. Because only a man would lie. I mean, did you notice they couldn't pull that off with the second or third, whatever it was, the third Supreme Court justice they put out? Because it was a lady. So they couldn't do that. So they had to attack her on her Christian background. That was the most they could do. And that didn't work because we're not at that point yet. But it's like, this shouldn't happen. And I mean, look, is this what we've come to?
All that hard work down the drain.
And you gotta believe there's other people that feel the exact same way as him. They just haven't.
Oh yeah. You look in the comments and there's a bunch of people being like, "Why does this happen? You know, I'm a vet myself. This is sickening."
They are trying to abolish common law.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess in that lady's mind, it's not his
there
property.
is no law.
It's our property, right?
Yeah.
What's that meme? The communism meme.
It's like when mom is doing or something or other, and then versus when mom needs us to help out. It's like, this is our house versus this is my house.
Ours. I remember back in the day when, like, trying to bring this flag back was like
the in thing, yeah.
No, the out thing. To be communist. I mean, I'm talking like decades back.
Dude, I remember this was like not that long ago. You can go down to like the Hollywood district and you could get like custom earrings, a custom necklace, and literally it's the fucking hammer and sickle. And it's like they're not even trying to be slick about it anymore when they're trying to pass it off as crude jewelry. Like, I see this type of shit on like TikTok and Instagram Reels all the time, where it's like,
look at this,
small business alert, and literally everything has to deal with like that aesthetic.
Communism has killed potentially at least 65 million people.
No, man, that's a false statistic. Don't believe
between
everything you read,
1917
obviously.
and 27. Oh yeah, it's a false. Oh yeah, but the deaths under capitalism. Now that's the ones that we need to worry about. Well, you know what? And I think we're gonna start drawing to a conclusion here. You know what? We're still here, and they're not. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. We're still here, and they're not. So think about which one managed to last a couple hundred years and which one collapsed before it even hit 100. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you make a good point.
At the end of the day, that's how I look at it. We're still here, and they're not. Their flag might still exist, but what they were was not a particularly good thing, and it will never be remembered as a particularly good thing by the people that lived there. Now, the people that wish they lived there would regret saying that as soon as they were put there, because they wouldn't have all their freedoms to protest and their fancy nonsense. Okay, the second they said a statement against the state, they'd freeze to death.
Every single individual who I've talked to that has fled a communist-run nation, I want to say like 40 to 50 years ago, state that literally they fled out of fear because they saw the repercussions of what was going on.
This right here in modern day, if the people that want communism, if we could give them their little communist state and it went to crap as it would always do, the ones that complained, it would be in this picture. It'd be the same people with colorful hair. Okay? It would be this image, but they'd have either no hair because they would go bald or whatever, because some of them do that, or they'd have colorful hair. That's what they would get. And I'm not saying they deserve it. I'm saying that's the natural course of things. It happened in China. It happened in Russia. Venezuela's in hell. Okay.
Can someone make a 21st century rendition of this and put it in the Broad?
And you know,
or the Guggenheim or one of the museums.
You know that they would end up in this situation because they're trying to there were the blue checkmark morons talking about getting conservative people grouped into camp-style things.
Re-education camp. Yeah,
so,
I remember that.
If they're already promoting that idea, you have to realize if you gave them a state and told them to go live there, that they would end up doing that to themselves because they wouldn't have anyone else to do that to. So then it would not go from the capitalist versus socialist. It would go to the pure socialists versus the half socialists.
Right.
And then they'd purge out the half socialists. So then they'd keep doing that over and over again until there's a revolutionary moment, because that would end up happening, just like it always would. Oh, you're killing people. Oh, the police force is brutal. Well, I mean, what did you expect? You want to live in a one-party, one ideology state. And you can't do that with human beings because human beings will always have different points of view.
Right.
So you're setting yourself up for failure no matter what. And then you'll go to the gulag. And you'll have plenty of time to think about it while the ice slowly falls around you. But on that note,
this was a wild ride. Very enriching. This has been very fun. I'm definitely digging the audience interaction, and we will be doing this again very, very soon.
Yeah, please feel free to like the video. I would appreciate that. This was actually the first official stream on the channel.
Yeah,
and
we'll do more.
Yeah, after seeing this, I would say it was a success. So we're definitely going to do more. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you like the music that's playing in the background, it should be in the bio. Yeah, link is in the bio if you want to listen to it.
Any particular questions, please feel free to direct it our way.
Yeah, anytime.
For a future video.
Yeah, I actually have a thread up now in the community tab. So if anyone wants to suggest topics, just comment there. And I'll pretty much instantly see it. So, because I like interacting with you folk. You're kind of fun. Unlike my co-host here. Just kidding.
I was going to say, I wasn't expecting this level of audience interaction because of the time that we started the stream, but it's surprising to see how many people are still up and like actively engaging in it. That's awesome.
It really is. It's refreshing. I like that. So on that note, thank you for the good times, and as always, it's all subjective. Good night, everybody.